Hi YouTube, Extreme Trains here. In this video we're continuing our look at the main cast of the AEG push-along range. I'm excited to say that Crane Engine, Carly, we'll talk about that in a second, has finally appeared in Australia and I have managed to grab them off the shelves. These new AEG push-alongs are flying off the shelves. Everywhere I'm going and I'm seeing them, there's empty pegs, there's one or two Thomases left, even Nia is selling, which is when you know things are getting pretty desperate. Clearly people have been starved of this new merchandise and it would seem on first blush that it's been quite successful. Sorry everyone. But what are we waiting for? Let's take a look at Carly. Alright, normally the boxes aren't anything to write home about, but poor Carly's really got the short end of the stick here. Crane vehicle grew. Kran vehicle grura. Like, none of the other engines had multiple languages on the front here. I picked this up. I didn't buy this online. I bought this at Kmart Australia, which is an Australian retailer, off the actual shelf. Yeah, really weird to me that her name's not actually there, but anyway. Look on the back, you can see again here, this is not written anyway. Carly's name is missing. I don't know what that is about. But anyway, is it like that she didn't have a name when they were designing the product packaging yet? So strange. But anyway, that's okay. What I'll also do quickly is bring in Hero here. So these engines are the same price class. These are the larger price class of engines. So I want you to think about if Carly is worth the same amount of money to you as Hero is. And obviously we're going to look at Hero in a separate review. But just thinking about how much stuff you actually get for the price you pay. How much did I pay? Well, we'll talk about that at the end. So let's open her up and see what she's like. Okay, let's do the in-hand 360. The first thing I'll say is, despite my comments about her size, she does feel pretty substantial. Like, compared to Nia, who are, you know, all these engines, which I already said felt more substantial than the predecessor CGI Thomas engines, she does feel quite a lot heavier. So that's a good sign in terms of value. Taking a look now at some of the details, there's Carly's face. Again, a really good Carly face. They're doing a pretty good job with these faces, I reckon. And as much as people, I think, have not liked it, I do quite like the use of the printing for the face, so that way you can get a lot of different expressions, which I think is really, really cool and exciting. The yellow headlights or buffers, I think they're headlights in the show. It's unclear, but they are actually yellow. I just checked. So that's cool. Little touch of accuracy there. Great to see the buffer detailing back. Looking at the sides, again, they've captured all of the important Carly details. The colors on the wheels with a little weird cut out of them, which is the same as what they've done for all of them. You can see there's a bit of, some of the paint is a bit scuffed on this, but anyway, you can see that you do have like kind of a transparent something color in there. It's kind of hard to tell if it's transparent or not, but it looks good with the windows there. We've got the hazard stripes, the blue, we've got the blue on the roof. Come around the back. I couldn't find any pictures of her from the back, so it's unclear to me if this is actually correct that she has black buffers, but again, a great piece of paint detail that we didn't used to get. If you look on the bottom, you can see, yep, Carly, same as normal. And this is what really surprised me, is what the claw can do, or the hook, sorry. So it only moves up and down that much, which isn't great, but it does rotate 360 degrees, and it's very stiff. So I can kind of grab her and shake her, and she's not going to spin around, which means you're going to be able to drag engines along and pull things along and do all kinds of crazy stuff with the crane arm. So that's really good, and it's far more accurate and also useful than the pathetic little crane arm that is included on the motorized version of her. So I am very, very happy actually with how she has turned out compared to the show. From a practical use perspective though, the hook doesn't rotate. I don't really know what she can pick up with the hook. Like, kind of. Like that? Is that what's supposed to happen? Like, it looks really good, and I can see they've made it quite thick, so it shouldn't break off, but I just don't understand what she's really meant to lift up. And I mean, maybe there are cargo pieces that are included in some of the other sets that she will work with. I don't have any of them, so I can't tell you if that would work or not. But it seems like a missed opportunity for her not to be able to, like, lift up some of the engines, because she does this all the time in the show. She's like, boop. So it seems like a missed opportunity for her not to be able to carry the engines like this. And like she kind of can, but it's not very easy to do or intuitive. So yeah, I'm not sure in terms of the actual functionality with the intended sets, but obviously if you want to pick random stuff up, you know, like a pen or something, you know, I'm sure you could, there you go, look, you can do that. So there's definitely options, but I think there's a missed opportunity there in terms of play value potentially. But if you've got Carly and you've got some other sets and she does work with them, let me know. Obviously this version looks so much better than the one that's included as like the weird static model in some of those sets. That stuff's so weird. And you can see here that she does look pretty darn good if you ask me. Now, in terms of sizing with the rest of the gang, we have almost got all of them now. I have got Sandy on pre-order, so she should be coming next week, hopefully. You can see here that I think she looks pretty good. Again, the main crew is looking quite good, and I think she does look bigger, which I think is great in terms of both, you know, in the show, she's a bit of a bigger character than some of the others, but also in terms of helping to justify that price difference, the fact that she is considered a large character versus all the other engines in the main cast who are considered small characters. So with that in mind, let's have a quick chat about the price. So as alluded to earlier, there are two price brackets that these new engines push-along engines fall into. You've got the small engines, which are between, in Australia, between $6 to $7 to $8 I've seen them at. And there's some weird pricing stuff going on, which I will include a link to Leah Kim Video's video about the mess up with the pricing at launch. And then the new pricing for the large engines is $12. And so that is this category, and that also includes Hero, who will be looked at in the next review. So he is a $12 engine at full price. So would you consider this engine here, this toy here, to be worth twice the price of this one here? Don't know. And I know it's obviously hard sometimes for retailers to size things properly. You know, Carly is a bit of a weird in-between size character. This crane arm is quite big, takes up a lot of plastic. There's a decent amount of engineering involved in making this rotate and also move up and down. So I understand why this happens. This happens in Transformers, for example, which I also collect, don't talk about on this channel. Where you have, like, you know, the $30 class or the $40 class has things of different sizes, because that it's not just literally how big it is, it's how complicated it was, or it means that something in another item in this line is bigger and it kind of balances out across all the items. So I kind of do understand. She certainly feels like a lot more than Thomas. So if I pick them up, this Carly does feel like weigh quite a bit more than Thomas. I do feel like I'm getting more. You can see here she's even got more screws in her chassis, despite the fact that the chassis is the same size. There's obviously more engineering and mechanics going on in here. So look, I am not super happy. I love this to be like a $10 item rather than $12. But even so, I think that's okay. That said, I've seen this going online, or this size class going online for $15, $20. That's a huge no from me. There just isn't enough here to justify a $20 toy. And this is already, again, a bit more expensive than what you were getting with the large engines for the previous range of push-alongs, which I think were about $8 or $10. So you're already getting a price increase. So that said, would I recommend this Carly? Look, if you're collecting engines from All Engines Go, to me, the push-alongs are the 10 out of 10, the line you want to be collecting. The motorized look like rubbish. The motorized engines, I think, have always looked pretty bad. I think they look worse in AEG because the push-alongs, which are cheaper, have far better detailing, far better proportions, and there's just so many more options available to you. But they work with the same track, so I think that's great. Another thing to consider when you're using Carly is, like, is she going to fit on your layouts? This is obviously quite tall. So that's kind of another thing to think about. But I think Carly, if you want a Carly, this is the one to get. It's absolutely worth it getting this one rather than trying to get the weird static ones that are built into the playsets. I think you'll really enjoy it, and it's a pretty good representation of a bog standard Carly. That's all I've got time for in this video. That's all I've got to say. Love to hear your comments down below. That's all I've got time for. This is Extreme Train.